This is Daily Language Review, Week 1. And we're going to start off by putting our name, not in the name box, but right above there. So your name, and then your class number, and then over here, the date that you are working on this lesson. And so in the name box, though, we're actually going to write CUPS. And that's to remind us what we are going to be working on as we work on these problems. The C stands for capitalization. The U stands for usage. P stands for punctuation. And S stands for spelling. Okay, so let's look at this first section, correct these sentences. Now, I'm not going to ask you to rewrite the sentences. I'm going to save you a little time, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, "Did you hear Mother calling you to dinner?" Okay, so now let's go back up to cups here. Let's look at cups, and let's go through it. First off, I like to think about usage, even though capitalization, but does it sound right? Did you hear Mother calling you to dinner? That sounds perfectly right. So it seems like usage is okay. But the C is capitalization. So is there anything that we need to capitalize? Well, yeah, we need to capitalize the first letter of the first word of the sentence. And putting those 3 lines underneath the letter tells us that that's what we need to capitalize. Now, there's one other word that we need to capitalize, and it's the word mother. And because we are using mother as if that's her name, did you hear Mother calling you to dinner? Not, did you hear our mother? Because that would have just been not like you're using it as a name. But it's, did you hear Mother calling you to dinner? So that's the capitalization. Punctuation now. Well, we always need an end of the sentence. So is this just a statement where we use a period? Is it a question where we use a question mark? Is it an exclamation point where it has a lot of feeling or is a lot of excitement? Well, it's a question, right? Did you hear Mother calling you to dinner? So we need to put a question mark at the end there. And that is all of the fixes for that first problem. That's all you need to do, is show me that. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do this on your own, and then we'll go look at number 2. Okay, so number 2 says, the meeting starts at 9:15. Well, okay, so I'm going to let you, I think you know what to do on this one. I'm going to go ahead and you do this one on your own. Again, look at cups. Does it sound right? Word usage, capitalization, punctuation, spelling. And then when you're ready to go on, we'll go on the next section. All right, so here we go. Circle the word that is spelled correctly. So number 3, each one of those is a way to spell the word does. Like, how does this work? Does. So go ahead and circle the word that you think spells does correctly. All right, and then this last section, fact or opinion. Remember, a fact is something that you could prove. You could look at evidence. You could look it up and prove it. An opinion is just the way somebody thinks or feels about something. So let's look at number 4. Superman wears a blue suit and a red cape. Well, could you look it up? Could you look for evidence and show it and prove it? Yeah, you can. So we're going to actually put just an F or an O there. So we'll go ahead and do that one. That's a fact. So let's look at the next one. Number 5. The grass is too long. Well, can you prove it? Can you look it up and everybody would agree that the grass is too long? Or is it an opinion? Some people might think it's too long. Others might think it's just fine. And so if you think it's a fact, put an F there. If you think it's an opinion, put an O there. And then that's the end of Monday. All right, this is Daily Language Review, Week 1, Tuesday. And again, we don't need to write our name again, but let's write cups inside the name box to remind us that we are looking at capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. All right, here we go. So this first section says circle the word that is spelled correctly. So number 1, each of those words is supposed to spell the word today. Circle the word that you think correctly spells the word today. And number 2, each of these is supposed to spell the word bowl, like have a bowl of cereal. So go ahead and circle the word that you think correctly spells the word bowl. All right, now we're looking at this next section, correct these sentences. And this is where we're going to really use cups. So here we go. Number 3, me and Marcos will ride the bus together. So now my ear hears a usage mistake in that one. And I'll do this one for you, and then to help explain what's going on. So me and Marcos. Well, there's a couple things. First off, whenever there is you and another person, we always let the other person go first. It's like opening the door for somebody. So this really should be Marcos and me, except the other part of this is whenever you are including yourself, you have to decide if it's me or I. And the way you decide that is if you take the other person or other people out, it still needs to sound correct. So me will ride the bus, or I will ride the bus. Okay, so we know we're going to change me to I, but we need to also flip-flop Marcos and I. So actually, this is one where we're going to cross that out and we're going to rewrite it. Marcos and I. And you can tell that I already capitalized the M and capitalized the I. Marcos and I will ride the bus together. Okay, so it sounds correct now with usage. I've already done the capitalization. Now, punctuation. Well, we're missing the end of sentence, and this is just a statement. So just a period at the end there. And then there's no spelling errors. I don't think there's ever spelling errors in the correctly sentences. So here's number 4. Let's look at number 4, and you'll do this on your own. Him don't know anyone named James. So I'm going to say that again. Him don't know anyone named James. So go ahead and work on that one on your own, the fixes for that one. And so you can pause the video, and then when you're ready to go, we'll look at this last section. All right, so the last section here says, use context clues to determine the meaning of the bolded word below. So what I recommend you do is, so we're going to look at this word, and I actually recommend that you put your finger over the top of the word, and then we'll read the whole sentence. So the sentence says, the door was blank, and we felt a breeze from outside. The door was blank, and we felt a breeze from outside. So what word would make sense in that where we're saying blank? The door was blank, and we felt a breeze from outside. And that's usually going to be, what the bolded word means. So go ahead and do that, and we will be done with Tuesday. This is Daily Language Review, Week 1, Wednesday. And because we're kind of on a new page here, let's go ahead and put our name and number at the top and the date that we're doing this page. And then let's rewrite cups. So go ahead and do that. And then when you're ready to go, we'll look at the first section. All right. So correct these sentences. So again, we're going to be looking at capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling as we work on these problems. So number 1 says, she bought apples, carrots, and cereal. So I think you can do this one. So go ahead. She bought apples, carrots, and cereal. So go ahead and look at, does anything need to be capitalized? Does it sound right? Is there any problem with word usage? What punctuation do we need to add? And there's no spelling errors in this one. So go ahead and pause the video and work on that. And then when you're ready to go, start it up and we'll do number 2. Okay, so number 2 says, right here, number 2 says, Mary, she is going to be late for the lesson. So Mary, she is going to be late for the lesson. So right away, my ear hears a usage error. Hopefully yours heard that too. And I'll just give you a little hint. Mary, she is going to be late for the lesson. So we have both Mary and she, and we only need one of those. So choose one of those, take it out, use the other one, and then go ahead and look at capitalization and punctuation. So pause the video, finish that problem up, and then we'll go on to the next section. Okay, so the next section is complete this analogy. So an analogy is where you're comparing things. And here's 2 little dots here, but here's 4. What I like to do is let's put a big line there, which tells us really, I'm going to erase this one, which tells us really we need 2 sides of that line. So number 3 here, it says fire, hot, ice, blank, right? So fire is hot, like ice is what? So go ahead and put your word on the line, and when you're ready to go, we'll go on to the last section here. All right, so this last section says circle the word that is spelled correctly. So number 4, those are all supposed to spell the word friend. Circle the word that correctly spells the word friend. And then number 5, each of those is supposed to spell the word happiness. So circle the word that correctly spells the word happiness. And that's the end of Wednesday. This is Daily Language Review, Week 1, Thursday. And let's go ahead and write CUPS in the name box. And then when you're ready, we'll go on to the first section. All right. Here it says, circle the word that is spelled correctly. So each of these words is supposed to spell the word wanted. Like I wanted to go get ice cream or something. So go ahead and circle the word that you think correctly spells the word wanted. All right, in the next section, this is where we're going to correct these, and this is where we use the CUP, not really the S, but CUP. So my dad taked my sister's bike to be fixed. So I'm going to read that again, and we're looking at number 2 right here. My dad taked my sister's bike to be fixed. All right, so think about usage is always the first thing actually I think about. Does it sound right, or does it not sound correct? Capitalization, and then punctuation. And so go ahead and pause the video, and then make your fixes, and then when you're ready to go, we'll look at number 3. Okay, here we go. Number 3 says, he knowed what his homework was. Again, it says, he knowed what his homework was. So hopefully your ear heard something that didn't sound quite right. And that's our word usage. So go ahead, pause the video, work on correcting this sentence, and when you're ready to go on, we'll look to the last section. All right, so now we're at the bottom section. Where would someone probably say the following? So where would you be if you heard somebody saying these things? Okay, so number 4 says, Julia, may I borrow your eraser? So where would you be if you heard somebody say that? And write that on the line. And when you're ready to go, we'll look at number 5. All right, number 5, it says, swimmers, take your mark, set, go. Okay, so where would you be if you heard somebody saying that? All right, and that is the end of Week 1's Daily Language Review.